feel a sense of inadequacy as a symbol. It is never easy for one to accept the role of symbolism without going through constant moments of self-examination. And I must confess that there are moments when I begin to wonder whether I am adequate, or whether I'm able to face all of the challenges and even the responsibilities of this particular position.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
This should be a matter of concern to us all. A country is as strong, really, as its citizens. And I think that mental and physical health, mental and physical vigor, go hand in hand. I hope that we will not find a day in the United States when all of us are spectators except for a few who are out on the field. I hope all Americans will be on the field. That is, they will concern themselves with the education of their children, with the physical development of their children, with the participation in the vigorous life, and then also as their children get older, inculcate into them a desire to maintain that vigor through their normal life. I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope and build a better life for their children. Not merely peace for Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace in our time, but peace in all time.
They told us we were free, but freedom with conditions isn't freedom at all.
I'm going to show you the only spot that a police officer would ever encourage you to sleep in your car.
My name is Arslan, and I've been living in vehicles for the past few years. I started this lifestyle after calculating how much money I could have saved by not paying rent. So far, I built and lived in a van, a sports car, and an SUV, while also working in healthcare, traveling the country, and putting myself through nursing school. Right now, I'm a registered nurse living out of a 2014 Chevy Suburban. You want to see how I do it?
Everybody have a good week? End of the month, 28.7 million in gross commissions, all from Pink Sheet stock.
Is bipartisan hope of getting it done. This year, the Senate passed an immigration reform bill by a wide bipartisan majority, and it addresses the key issues that need to be addressed. It would strengthen our borders. It would level the playing field by holding employers accountable if they knowingly hire undocumented workers. It would modernize our legal immigration system so that we eliminate the backlog of family visas and make it easier to attract highly skilled entrepreneurs from beyond our borders. It would make sure that everybody plays by the same rules by providing a pathway to earn citizenship for those who are living in the shadows. A path that includes passing a background check and learning English and paying taxes and a penalty and getting in line behind it, everyone trying to come here the right way.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
But first to the US, where they're finding out that elections have consequences, with the biggest surge in illegal migration in more than 20 years, thanks to Joe Biden's reckless rhetoric and policies. Yes, we're looking at illegal migrants on the Mexican border with Joe Biden T-shirts waiting to cross. And during a pandemic, we have people squeezed in these cages together. But of course, under Biden, they're not cages, but just holding facilities. Under Trump, the media call them concentration camps.
Back here at home, a few hundred members of the Idaho 5051 movement gathered at the state capitol today to voice their opposition to the Trump administration's recent executive actions. The Rage Against the Regime protest was one of multiple held across the country today. The group criticized the Trump admin's policies, pointing to the economic impacts of tariffs and recent cuts to federal programs and grants they say are hurting working-class Idahoans.
Number one is to get our representatives in Congress to take back the power of the purse and fund the programs that they are federally mandated to fund so that government can function and provide the supports to the people. For me personally, I want to see the restoration of federal funds to our food banks that are immediately and negatively impacting the hungry in the state.
And as you just heard, the movement's immediate goals center around calling on lawmakers to restore that federal funding.
Also happening in downtown today, a national day of action dubbed Rage Against the Regime. A massive group marching to the federal building, blocking all lanes of traffic on the southbound Alameda Street.
What needs to be policed is social media, which have no fact checkers, podcasters and the like. No one is checking those facts. And the problem is that that is inaccurate information that's being disseminated. I think they should be putting ankle bracelets on ankle monitors on certain anchors at certain cable stations in prime time. Those are the culprits.
And that would be me, I would imagine, because Ms. Chung reveals herself when she says they cannot allow biased owners. Well, what do you think CBS is, Connie?
This is not like a built-in pivot. This is a guy who's trying to save face. And the reason that he might pull it off is because people from Fox News and Newsmax whose job is to lick around his undercarriage, period.
Over the weekend, and this is suspect, 5 polls coming out on the same day, one of them worse than the one before.
These are propaganda polls. That's what they are. They're trying to lie to the American people. They're trying to sway public opinion.
I'll just give you a flavor because, this is where it's going to go. Joe Scarborough, this is this morning, I think, on Donald Trump. Listen to this, top 3.
You've got Donald Trump saying, let fentanyl flood across the border and kill Americans over the next year. Let illegal immigrants keep flooding over the border. Let's not have a solution.
This is really one of them that just really clarify and tell you the whole story, which is, are you working on behalf of the country? Are you working on behalf of people who want to see the border crisis resolved, that they don't want drugs flooding in, that they think there should be an orderly and legal immigration system in this country? That's what you've said you've wanted for generations.
Oh, my God.
Willie Geist.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes, and it is a very busy Friday. NBC News has learned that Donald Trump's Justice Department offered Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, limited immunity during her conversations with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Of course, there have been all sorts of developments on the relationship between Trump and Epstein. Today, I've been chatting with the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, regarding that relationship. Things got a little newsy, and those details are ahead. It all started last week when the Wall Street Journal published this report about that, frankly, weird message from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein as part of a book of letters for the child sex trafficker's 50th birthday. You know, the one with the drawing of a nude woman and Trump's scribbled name as the pubic hair? Of course, Trump immediately made a big show of denying he wrote the letter. There was no letter. And even if there was, he said it wasn't his words. And he never wrote a picture in his life. And he sued the Wall Street Journal, along with others, for $10 billion. Now,
Is this decline? Or the beginning of clarity? What version of America do you believe in?